Guys, so can art be magical? Can art be magical, really? Okay, I don't know if guys have ever heard about something called art magic. Art magic is basically getting your intention and almost as you do painting, as you do art, as you do, could be stone painting, you're putting your intention into the art almost. It's like you're addressing your intention into the object as you're doing it. And it can be quite a fun thing to do. And right the way through human history, art magic has existed. There's Aborigines who had those stone paintings with the fingers pressed against the wall. And even the Aztecs and Mayans, they had art magic. They did art magic. Even the act of getting a tattoo and getting it tattooed on your arm, even if that's a sort of art magic in a way. That's, and I mean, the Aztecs believed that getting a tattoo was a sacred rite. It was almost like getting a god's energy and putting it into your skin. And now wherever you go, that magical energy goes with you. So right through history, art magic has always existed. Now I don't know how you see art being magical, but art is magical. I've been doing art for many, many years, and it records love, hate. It can it really has. And I don't know if you ever looked at a painting and it almost looks it's amazing. It looks like the painting is looking right back at you, almost like as a soul. And I don't know if paintings do have a soul or not. But there's something called color magic, and color magic is basically it's believed that different colors give off energy almost. For example, I did this example of color magic. I did it onto a wooden board, and it's green. It's got a pentangle. It's an earthy color, and green represents prosperity and luck. It's the same color as the earth, and the heart chakra is green. And that's an example of color magic. So color gives off energy, and it can be used to set our attention, send it out to the universe almost. Everything, one way or another, everything is made up of energy. Everything has different energetic vibrationary system. I don't mean just one thing, or everything is made up of energy. Rocks, plants, trees. And the shamans believed that everything in human life is alive and has a spirit. Everything has a kind of inner world and inner being. And but can our paintings have an inner life? Can our paintings have an inner being almost? I believe they can. I believe everything has a sort of a life force. And I don't know if you ever heard of something called a thought form. Thought form? Yes. Basically, a thought form is let me put it this way. If you think about something in your mind and you think about it really, really clearly, then it can literally, I mean, shamans believed in something called thought form. So if you think of something really quick, it can almost take form in the astral plane and even develop a form of consciousness to it. I don't know if you've seen those crazy people talk to themselves and talk to imaginary figure in their head. Crazy as it sounds, that's an example of something called a thought form. So it can actually, but arts can be an example of a thought form, can be an example of creating an entity and using an entity to carry out your intentions, almost like a genie. And the astral realm is, in shamanism, they believe that there's a lower, middle, and an upper world, and the middle world is it's like the astral part of this world, or the spiritual skin of our own world, and many entities sort of exist in the astral planes. There's demons, angels, fairies, dragons. Seriously, and sometimes the divine does talk to us through our thinking or our thoughts, and the reality is that we're not separate from the divine, however you view that divine figure, a god or a goddess or whoever it is. But we are a part of divine. Divine lives in us, and we have access to that divine energy within ourselves. And I have done that before. I've done it before. I've painted a picture. And actually, I painted things I've seen in visions after doing a shamanic journey. And even that's a sort of manifesting. It sort of manifests the journey. And it's a way of honouring the spirits that came to you during the shamanic journey. It's almost like... So art magic can be used for a huge variety of things. For divination, manifesting, shadow work. And I don't know if you ever heard of something called a ley line. Okay, a ley line is... It's like, if you can think of the whole of the earth having sort of magnetic points, and a ley line is also known as a place of power. For example, Stonehenge is an example of a type of ley line. Some temples in Greece and Egypt, even some sacred places in India, and even some Christian places in Israel. That's an example of a ley line. It's a place of power. And it's a place, but we can create our own ley lines. If you ever thought of something called an altar, some people, pagans, witches believe in having an altar, and that's an example of a self-created ley line. That's a self-created place of power. So, but our art magic, doing art can create a kind of ley line. It can create almost that source of power. And even if you do a painting, you don't have a strong intention behind it, it still has that energetic signature of your own energy. And I even believe that even where you do art, it can actually soak up the environment of the place you're in. Like if you do an art painting in a cemetery or in a hospital, your artwork, as you're doing it there, will generally soak up some of the energy of the environment. And that's an example of using art to manifest. For example, if you did do an art in a cemetery, as grimly as it sounds, it probably would have energy relating to death and rebirth or mediumship, spirit communication. So I believe art can almost take on a life force as you do it, and even have a form of consciousness to it. And again, it can be used for manifesting. But in terms of working with spirits, even the spirit within our own art, you need to treat all sorts of spirits with respect, even spirits you created yourself or thought forms, because they're still spirits and they still deserve to be treated with respect. But art can also be used for healing work. It can be a great healer. And I do a lot of shadow work. I honestly do shadow work more than any other form of magic. And shadow work is basically getting all that negativity, getting that, all of that down on paper. I almost feel a bit tearful just talking about this almost. It sort of brings up quite deep emotions. But shadow work is working through your shadow self, and it's honestly not good to hold on to anger, all this. It's not good to hold on to it. And I believe shadow work is a way of expressing that in a safe way. It's a way of expressing. It could be for journaling, poetry, art, as I just said. It could be for drawing almost picture of a skeleton. It's a way of expressing that pain in a safe way that doesn't harm anyone or yourself. So art can be used for shadow work. And even colours, I already spoke about colours, but also each chakra has a colour linked to it. So there's the heart chakra, it's a green colour, and the way I remember chakra colours is they're the same colours as the rainbow going up. As the root chakra, red, orange, sacral, solar pelvis chakra, when it's yellow, green is the heart chakra, blue is the throat chakra, and going up to the crown chakra. So but doing art can be a healer also, not just because of colour magic, as I just said, but also chakras. As you do art, I believe it does help heal the chakras. It can let off energy and it can help heal the chakras as you're doing art. And I don't know if anyone of you heard of the practice of Reiki, but you can actually Reiki your art. Yes, seriously. You can like draw Reiki symbols over your art as you're doing it, and chant the Reiki symbols as a way of enchanting your art. And I can show you some other ways. Like, say you've done a painting, you could even say a prayer of your art after you've done it, and say clearly what your intention of the artwork is, like to bring luck, or just try to say it in a positive way. And if you want, say you've done a painting, and then you can sort of hold your hands over the art and sort of think of your intention, and just feel your intention filling the object. That's a way of doing art magic. You could get the picture, and you could, before writing it, you could write down what you want to manifest and paint over the picture. And if you're wondering other ways of enchanting your artwork, you can use sound. You can actually use sound to enchant your artwork. Say you've done the painting, you're thinking of intention, then you could beat a drum. Or you could beat a drum and picture your intention filling the objects. You could rattle around it and imagine sound as a way of enchanting it. You can use essential oils as well, and even dab a bit of cinnamon. Cinnamon's a great all-purpose magical herb. You can dab the painting with cinnamon, and cinnamon enhances the power of any magic. Cinnamon's a highly powerful magical oil or thing to use. You can even use crystals, like a quartz crystal, to enchant your artwork, or you can even charge your picture in the full moon or in the sunlight. The sun is great for healing, and sun is a masculine energy. The moon is more of a feminine energy, and it's more linked to your intuition. So if it's more psychic related, you could charge it in the full moon. If it's a banishing ritual you're trying to do, you could get some ash, or those ash chalks, and you could even try something like you could map out the picture on a piece of paper what you want to banish in chalk, black chalk, and then don't get too attached to the picture because you're going to burn the picture. And that's a way of banishing something negative from your life by doing. And also, even mandalas can be used again for manifesting. Mandalas are often used in Buddhist culture, and they're like these circular things that go outwards, and that invokes color magic. So pick colors relevant to your intention. Think of your intention as you draw a mandana, and the more time you spend on it, the more powerful, the more energy you put into it, the more powerful the manifestation will result. So you can do art to even honor a god or a goddess as you're doing it, and that can be a great form of offering. Odin, for instance, the most precious offering you can give to Odin is your time, putting your time into it, and gods really do treasure that time you spend doing a painting with them. And I'll show you some paintings I did. This is 4, and that's, you can sort of see. And again, that sort of has Thor's energy in the picture. And this is the goddess Hecate, so you can do it at different times. You can do it at different places. Your environment affects your magic. But have you ever thought when to do your art magic? You could do it during the day, invoking the colour of the sun, the power of the sun. You can do it at night, invoke the power of the full moon. You can do it on special astrological events. You can do it on the date of the Capricorn if you're trying to manifest, like, to do with business, or even to do with Taurus, to do with family or home. So doing it on astrological phases, like your art soaks up the environment, the energy of the environment you're in as you do the art on that environment. It's the same on the moon phases, and the same during the phases of the zodiac. So you can even doing it. And I can also show you some more pictures I've done. You can draw a sigil on a painting. You can draw a sigil and then paint over the picture. And that's a way of using sigil magic in your art. So it can be great to do that. So there's many like art magic projects you can do. There's many things you can do that involves art magic. And I'm going to show you some examples, and then I'm going to move into more about doing art magic on the go. This is a wand I did, and I'm always finding things when I go about my day weird. Some people probably think you're weird picking up things in the street, like, what's this? Oh, I could use this for my magic. And they sort of think, why are you picking up a stick? Why are you picking up a small coin? And I found this in somebody's, when I was walking back, and I noticed somebody cut a holly hedge. And one person was staring at me like, why are you picking up holly branches that are being cut off a tree? This is why. And holly is a masculine. It's sacred to the god Thor. So what I did was I brought a bunch of holly branches home. I whittled them. I rubbed them with beeswax oil. I wood burned them, and I did this in honor of Thor. And that's an example of art magic and wood burning. Like, wood burning is art. Wood burning involves the power of fire. So that's art magic, like colour magic is. So that's an example of it. I've got an example here, and I wood burned, again, using the power of fire, I wood burned this. And it's a talisman to help me while I'm asleep to get lucid dreams. And I sort of charged it with the energy of Hermes, Mercury. And I'm going to put this above my bed, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it is going to help me with my dream work and do lucid dreams. This is colour magic, but I also did it on a piece of wood involving the power of earth. And art magic, all sorts of magic, is always more powerful when you do it around natural environments opposed to just doing it at home in your art office. It's so much more powerful, I believe, to do art magic or do art around a natural environment, as that adds a lot more power to your magic. So doing art magic by stream, that enhances the power of your art. So doing art, even on a bench in a park, that adds power to your art magic. Even doing it by a forest, on top of a mountain or hill, it also depends what sort of magic you're doing, of course, or what deity you're honouring. If you do it on top of a hill, it could honour Zeus. It'll fill his energy up. It'll be stronger energy. And so you can see these feathers are different colours. That involves colour magic as well. And there's even stone magic. And I found some of these stones on natural wild walks. And what I did is I got home, I washed them, I scrubbed them, and I did a lot of work on this, and I charged it in the sun. It's Apollo. So I painted it, I scrubbed it, I washed it, and I made a nice Apollo charm there. And I charged it in sunlight. So you can do all sorts of cool projects. You can create your own set of runes. I don't know if I got any runes here I made myself, but you can even create your own set of runes and really put your energy and really put your attention into doing each rune. You can do one rune a day for 24 days, and then, except on each day, put as much time and effort into each rune as you can, and only do one a day, and except really put your attention into it, and then do another rune the next day, the day after that, and you can make your own set of runes. And this is wood burn, so it's using the magic of fire. So that's a powerful way to do. You can create your own set of runes, you can create your wand, you can create your whole little witchcraft kits, and then you can create your own perfect magical altar. Another thing you can do is create a Ouija boards using wood burning, and you can get a wooden disc and create it. And you can even, things you create yourself are much, much more powerful than things you buy in a shop or man-made. Something you make yourself has your own energy. It has their own special energy signature to it. And I believe having your room filled with things you make yourself, that makes your energy in the room more powerful. That makes your altar's energy much, much more powerful than something you buy in a shop, because you made it yourself. It has your energy to it, and it has, you even create, even, I created my scrying mirror here. And what I did, sometimes I wait until the full moon and then I paint it. I go over it. I spend literally 4 or 5 hours straight doing a scrying mirror. Except when you make it yourself, I did this in honor of Apollo. So this is a red scrying mirror. Scrying mirrors can be all colours. Originally, a lot of scrying mirrors are black, officially. But scrying mirrors can be any colour, guys. You can create your own magical necklace. You can create relevant to your intention. And you can, the thing is to have fun when you do your artwork, because, and try and enjoy it rather than doing artwork and think negative thoughts, have a low vibration. Because when you have a high vibration, when you think thoughts of, when you try to enjoy what you do, that gives you a lot more power, and that gives you almost like, think of having someone have a low vibration and think somebody having a high vibration. And the higher vibration you have, the more energy you can channel as you do art magic. And the first thing I do when I do art magic, let's imagine, okay, let's say you're sitting in a cafe, it's full of people. Say you want to do a bit of art magic, you're sitting in the corner in a cafe doing your art. The first thing I tend to do in that sort of situation is a bit like when I do psychic work, I imagine a dome of light surrounding me like a dome. And I sort of imagine my energy from centimeter expanding and covering me, and then I ground myself. And then I do my art magic. Then I'm sitting in a cafe or wherever it is. And but you can actually create your own little art magic altar. And for that, okay, I'm going to set you guys a thing to do. Is to create a little altar you can bring with you on the go to do your art magic. And I got this. So that can be used as a sort of art magic altar. You could get a felt tip and you could draw a pentacle on the back of it, or sigil, and you sort of make it yours. And then you could open up the altar. You could have something like a crystal, and a quartz crystal is a great all-purpose crystal. And the crystals, they amplify the power of magic. But also they amplify the power of your magic. So you can keep a quartz crystal in your little altar bag. You have a little mini pentangle. Put that in your altar bag. You have a pencil and an art magic. I haven't got any pastels here, but even making your own art things your own, make it. You can charge your pastels in the full moon. You can charge it with energy, and you could pick things to bring with you. Except the thing with art magic is, it can't just be a messy, scruffy bag full of tatters and just throwing all sorts of things in it. It's your special altar bag, and you need to make it sort of special. You need to fill it with things that make it your own. And I've been doing art magic for many years, and you can weave magic into anything, any hobby you can do. You can weave it into it. And I can show you a way of charging your altar kit if it's any help, and that can help you on your magical journey. And a way of doing that is I can sort of rub my hands together. Let's say you've got everything, you've got your altar, you set out all the things you want in your altar in front of you. You set up a crystal, some pastels, a pencil, a pen, a rubber, a razor from the art shop. You got them in front of you, put them in front of you, and just try a simple exercise. Just slow right down, listen to your breathing. Just imagine roots coming out the soles of your feet. Imagine the roots going deep, deep, deep down into the earth. Just breathe in that light, and just breathe out anything that doesn't serve you. Breathe in light. Breathe out anything that doesn't serve you. Now just rub your hands together, just really, really quickly, activating the hand chakras. And just hold your hands over your artwork, over, in this case, your mini altar bag. Just feel that white light coming, this golden light, just coming out your fingertips, coming out your hands, filling the object in front of you. Just imagine that light expanding. Imagine that golden light filling your altar bag. Expanding, expanding. Now, get your hands together and clap them together. And that sends out to the universe. And that's a way of, well done guys. So that's a sort of way of blessing your altar bag. So before doing that exercise, it's only a simple exercise, but that's an example of art magic. And when you clap your hands together, it's a bit like a lot of witches, when they do magic, they say something called so mote it be, and that is technically, like Christian says, amen. It sends out your intentions to the universe, and that symbolizes almost like sending out the spell to the universe or the thought form up to fulfill its duty. So before doing that exercise, first get everything together, get a bag that really speaks to you, a little bag to keep your art things in. I just suggest having a quartz crystal, a small pentangle if you want, a pencil, pen, eraser, some pastels, put them in the bag, and then when you go out on the go, you can bring out a little sketchbook and do doodling when out and about. And that is art magic on the go. Okay, a lot of magical practitioner witches, they don't normally do artwork as such. It's never really caught on as much as other forms of magical work, and probably the main reason for that is because people don't always, they think my art is rubbish, I can't do art like Picasso, or my art's nothing like his work, and that really throws them off. It brings down their vibration, but that really isn't the case. Everything is made up of energy, and your artwork is beautiful, even if you think it looks shit. Your artwork, it has its own special energy signature to it, and that other person's energy signature of his artwork, it's not the same as yours. Yours is special, yours is unique. So everybody's artwork, it's unique in their own way, and it can be used for creating entities, even creating magical entities. It can be used for manifesting, banishing, honouring a god or goddess. Artwork can be used for many, many things in magic. The only limitation is your imagination, wherever you choose to do it. And just the last thing I wanted to say in this video feed is another way of manifesting in a cool way. I did something like this earlier, and it's actually doing art piece of a tarot card, and that's another example of manifesting. It's a high priestess. This is the high priestess card. I know it's backwards, guys, back to front, the words, but you can actually draw a tarot card and you can put it on your altar. And so Art Witch is a very, very specific type of magical practitioner. So I'm going to finish the video today here, guys. I thought I'll just show you guys one last thing, and it's my altar room. It's a bit dark in here, but that is my little mini altar I set together. And you can sort of see some things. You can see my room is filled with my artwork. You can see my raven feathers I put together, and that's an example of art magic. It's got stones, it's got feathers, it's got stones, cinnamon sticks balancing it, and that's actually to help me with astral work and shamanic journeying, and that's my altar I set together. So the thing is with art magic is to enjoy yourself, enjoy your art magic, and that adds to the power of what you're doing. So if you think your art magic shit, don't be discouraged, because some of the most beautiful work in the world, the person thinks it's shit, but other people think it's beautiful, and your art magic is your own. It's your own. It's nobody else's but yours. It has your own energy signature to it, and that is what makes it beautiful. So I'm not sure what magical piece you're going to do next, guys. You might even create a little magic talisman to bring with you, a bone, or even a rune. But keep going with your art magic, guys. Thanks for listening to my video. Yay, enjoy. Bye, guys. Enjoy.